Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Now in the last YouTube video of ours, we just started with Blender. We just finished downloading Blender and we also went through a couple of shortcuts. Now in this video, we're gonna go ahead and design a model a very simple house. Now in the last video, I forgot to tell you something very important. Now it depends. If your computer or your laptop, whatever you're using, does have a numpad, you're all fine. If you don't, you're gonna have to emulate a numpad, and in order to do that, you have to go to File and go to User Preference. The shortcut is Control Alt and U, and then you go to Input. Then you, on the left side, you're gonna scroll down and click on Emulate Numpad. And the reason we need a numpad is to go to a specific mode called camera mode. So if you do have a numpad, you just click numpad 0. If you don't, now that you've emulated a numpad, you just click on your actual number 0. And this is going to take us to the camera mode. So this is how a render would look like. And there's another important functionality that you might want to change is you just have to go to the properties tab, which we discussed in the last video. If you forgot, you just click on the letter N on your keyboard and go down, and there is something called let me see, where is it? Let's see. Okay, you go down, yeah, there it is. So you go on to lock camera to view, which is going to lock your camera, and you can change your model with respect to the camera. So there we go. And let's also go through some basic rendering before we move on to our modeling. So you just go to render image. So this is how it's going to look. It's also important to know that we're going to use cycled render for all our coming videos, which is something I'm more used to than normal Blender render. The major difference is just in the render, obviously. It takes longer time, but it gives us better renders. So yeah, let's just get started with our house modeling. So yeah, I'm gonna start with the basic cube, which is already there once you open Blender. Let's see what we need. I'm gonna change the dimensions of the y-axis. So I do S and a Y, and go to Shift A. I'm gonna add a. Okay, it's important to know that since this is a very simple modeling tutorial, we're gonna design something with the things we already have in Blender. So I just added a cone over there, and I'm gonna the house is gonna look a little Chinese, which is something cool, of course. You know, one of those big Shaolin temples we see in movies, right? So yeah, you go down. I'm gonna grab the object to Z-axis, make sure it's all in line. So yeah, there we go. We have a very basic house model. Now, obviously, the house has to have doors, so we're gonna create cubes. And I want to scale this, so I'm gonna move this along the x-axis, and I'm gonna scale it all the way for starters, and then I'm gonna scale it along the x-axis, make it teeny tiny in thickness. There we go, that should be good. And change it along the z-axis. Actually, I'm gonna another important shortcut is if you just use your scroll wheel, it's gonna move around the plane. So if you want to just move the actual object, you're gonna have to hold down Shift, which for some reason is not showing on the display. So just remember, you're gonna have to use Shift in order to move it like the way I'm doing it now. So I'm gonna change, scale it along this x-axis a little more, and I'm gonna grab it along the x-axis again to make sure that we have it all right. So I think that should be good. Yeah, grab it along the z-axis. So there we go. We have a little door. I'm gonna move it a little more so it feels like a door. There we go. So we have the doors. Now another important shortcut. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the windows, right? So another important option or a shortcut in Blender is Shift D, which is gonna duplicate your object. So I'm gonna grab that along the x-axis, actually the z-axis. It didn't work for some reason, guys. Shift D, come on. GX. It's not working. Why is it not working? Let's see. Command D. Is it Command D? Nope. Wait a second. Actually, there are two objects. So yeah, it does work now that we have many duplicates. Let's just go back. Control Command Shift Z another time. Yeah, so let's take it from here. So yeah, if you mess up sometimes, you can always use redo and undo. So if you mess up in a way that I just did, it's always handy. So Shift D for duplicating, G along the Z axis. There we go. Now we just duplicated it. We're going to move it along the Y axis to get over here. Actually, I'm going to move this a little more print so that we can actually see the door. So yeah, let's scale this down a lot. Move it along the Z axis a little bit and along the Y axis a little bit, and scale it along the, I don't know, Y axis. Scale it along the Z axis. There we go. We have a little window. Actually, I'm going to move it more to the side. So the reason you're not able to see some of the objects is because of the lighting, which is another topic which we're going to discuss. So if you didn't know, there's a light, and I think we have a sunlight in here, a point light. Is it a lamp? I'm not sure. So it's some sort of a light. We're going to go more in detail in the coming videos. So I'm going to duplicate this again, move it along the x-axis, no, y-axis. Yeah, it's all, if you don't know the axis, which is something I don't know. Wait, what am I talking? Yeah, so if you don't know what you're doing, or if you don't know what the axes are, you can just, like, try it out and right click, which is something I talked about in our previous video. So I feel like our house should have a little spear at the top of the cone, so I'm gonna do that right away. So it's way too big, of course, so I'm gonna scale it a lot and get it down. Scale it again. Yeah, so there we go. We have a very simple house ready. So yeah, going back to the camera view, as you can see, it's totally not what we want in render. So the way we change that, like discussed, is go in here, use shift sometimes. You might want to use shift sometimes. As you can see, the light is behind the camera, which is okay. You could render this right now, and the results is good, but then yeah, this looks very model, doesn't it? Okay, yeah, another thing about Cycles render, it's not actually realistic renders, it's more like it's not too realistic. So getting back to the light, we're gonna change that. So we're gonna make it go. You can always use the grab or the scale to any of the lights, although scale doesn't make that much of a difference. So we're gonna change along the x-axis, get it in front of the camera. So as you can see, we have a better result already. In the next video, yeah, that's it for today's video. In the next video, however, we're going to look at adding colors to our house to make it more appealing to the viewers or the audience. As you can see, there are shadows around in here, which is very cool in Blender. So yeah, we're going to look at colors and then maybe take it a step further and also use textures. So make sure you stay tuned. And that's it for today's video. We just finished modeling a very simple house. As you can see, it looks like a cartoon character, but it's fine. We're going to get better. We're going to make more realistic renders in the future videos. So yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching again. Stay tuned. If you like it, hit the like button, share it, subscribe, do come back for the future videos. Bye-bye.